Boy, I hope I don't get sued for that. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to an average day in Scotland. Well, after nearly 7 months of the van being away, it's finally back at the garage. And the only reason why it's not inside the garage at the moment is because I'm in the process of painting the garage floor. So before we get started on the van, I do want to apologise for having been away for so long. Life just got way too busy the last couple of months, which basically allowed me no time at all to work on any cars. But by way of a quick update, the van is the only car on the channel at the moment. I sold the GTR, I sold the BRZ, because I needed the money to fund other projects. And at some point in time, I do need to get rid of the remaining parts of the GTR and the BRZ, because they're sitting over there. And they're also sitting in this pile of junk. But don't worry, I'll deal with that off camera. What we need to do is get stuck in about this interior, because it is in a real mess. But on the plus side, all the major faults have been fixed. There are a few lights still on the dash. And one thing that's really irritating me right now is when you leave the car in park and open the driver's side door, the car still thinks it's not in park and just beeps constantly. But apparently Volkswagen do know how to fix that. So for just now, what we'll do is we'll start getting all this dash put together, starting from the passenger side and working our way across. So with that, let's crack on, get some work done. Right, so that's a lot better. It's starting to look like a van again. Now what you saw me do at the end of the clip was I was messing around with the bit that goes back in there. And the reason why, the vents that came out the van were smashed to absolute bits, but the outside bezel was in good condition. But as you can see, the outside bezel was scratched. So we swapped that out. Took a little bit while longer than I had anticipated. I also had to give the donor vents a clean because whatever van it came out of absolutely stank of cigarettes. But it's now beautifully clean, doesn't smell of cigarettes anymore. So we can chuck that back in the car. But what we're going to do right now, before we do that, is we're going to fix the wing mirror because it's been raining quite a lot in Scotland recently. And that is no bueno because it goes right into the car. And as you can see, there's no way of really saving the original because these bits here are actually off of the other half of the mirror. So it's completely trashed. So I ordered a new one from Volkswagen. So let's get this bit off. So let's grab all these parts, see what we can come up with. That was an absolute pain in the butt. Why did Volkswagen over-engineer everything? But that's the door card now all fully rebuilt. I've broken a few clips if I'm being really honest, so I'm going to have to order more, take that door off and do all of that again. But for just now, it's nice and stout, it'll do the job. And unfortunately this wing mirror cover is actually broken. But we'll leave it on it for just now, because it'll do the job of keeping most of the rain off. And when the whole van's getting repainted, I'll get the new cover painted too. Now as you can tell, it's starting to get dark, and what we Scots refer to as midges are out in force tonight. And for all my viewers that aren't from Scotland, midges are just tiny wee annoying flies, and there's thousands of them, and they're constantly nipping me. And unfortunately, I can't bring the van inside just yet, because the floor hasn't fully dried. So what's going to be a couple of seconds for you guys is going to be about 3 days for me. So I'll see you back here in just a sec. Told you it'd be quick. Right, so it's a new day. Garage floor's nice and dry. So let's give the van its first wash in probably over a year. And then we'll get it in the garage and crack on. Well, it's certainly not the best clean I've ever done, but it'll do for just now. And it's amazing how much a clean can make a car look so much newer. So now what we'll do is get the garage door up, get the van inside, and get back to working on that interior. Right, so that's the top half of the dash now all built back up. And it's actually starting to look pretty good. So the next thing on the list is we need to get this trim back in. We also need to refit the airbag, and that should be the interior pretty much buttoned up for just now. So let's crack on with that super quick, get that done, and see where we are once that's finished. Right, so that's the trim and the airbag back in. And as you can see, I've tidied up the wiring a wee bit. And although I do have the tray that goes underneath there, I'm waiting for a wee bit that slots into there. So we're going to leave it like that for just now. So what we need to do now is reconnect the battery, because obviously I was playing around with the airbag, and the last thing you want to do is have a live airbag while you're doing that, just in case it blows up in your face. So we'll reconnect the battery just quick, turn the car on from a distance, and hope the airbag doesn't deploy. Well, so far so good. Let's turn the car on, see what happens now. Happy days. So anyway, that's going to be the end of this week's episode, guys and girls. Hope you liked it. In next week's episode, first thing we're going to do is clean up the interior of this car, because as you can see, it's absolutely disgusting inside. So we'll give the interior a clean, get it back to how it should look, and then we'll make a start on fixing all the external damage. And as always, I hope you're keeping well and I hope you're keeping safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.